Hey guys, Natasha Tessier. Thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here. I would love to get to know you. I help people like you every single day move to the great state of Texas. I was born and raised here. I'm a solo agent. I just have my assistant, Megan, and a few girls that help me show houses when I'm got so many things going on at once. Other than that, you only work with me. You do not get rerouted to a team. There's a lot of people out there, they're on teams. And so everybody gets into a round robin and you don't know what agent you're going to get. So when you call, you're going to work with me. I just have a few people, a few helpers to kind of help me facilitate everything. So, and if you go with one of my showing assistants, you'll go out, maybe you see 20 houses, narrow them down, and then we'll go back out. So it's not like we never meet. Today, I wanted to go over how to pick the best Houston suburb for you and your family and a guide to getting you here. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so today I thought it would be helpful because I have a lot of people saying like, how does the process work? Do I sell my house here first? How do you coordinate with the realtor where I'm coming from? All that stuff. So I thought I'd go through some of the questions that you need to ask yourself when you're moving here, and a lot of the questions that we ask when we go through a call or a Zoom, a buyer presentation and orientation to kind of get to know our buyers. So even if you're a year out, we still like to connect, make the connection, put you on a list, and then we check in on you. We are not bugging you. I'm not a pushy salesperson. I think you can tell that by my personality. But I do like to check in with my buyers and just say, hey, has anything changed? Do you need your search changed? Is there anything I can do? Some people will say, hey, it moved up and we're coming in sooner than we thought. Or, oh my gosh, our job situation changed and it's going to be 6 months or a year. That's okay. That's fine. Take your time. Okay. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you want new construction or do you want resale? This is a big deal. So let's just say you're dead set on the Woodlands and you have to be at those Woodland schools. Well, you can't get new construction there. So we have a problem that we have to resolve right then and there. New construction or resale. Some people only want to live in a home that's never been lived in by somebody else, and that's totally fine. Some people love the charm of old homes and want to remodel. Some want move-in ready. So that is a very big question. Some people, we do their search for 2020 or newer. So they want a newer home, but it doesn't have to be brand new. If you want a pool, it's not going to be with new construction. They don't put pools in. So that would mean, 2020, if you want a newer home with a pool, 2020 or newer with a pool. Okay, so that's kind of one of my first questions. One of my next questions is, are the schools important to you? So many good master plan communities, but not all of them have A-rated schools. And so my favorite place to look for the school ratings is on HAR. I feel like a lot of those other school ratings are very subjective. HAR is going to rate our schools based on our scores. We're all taking the same test. So they're not going to do it based on, diversity or based on, I don't know, there's all sorts of things that goes into the other calculations. It's like you get an A if your kids score a 90 or above. You get a B rated school if so it's all based on our STAR, which is our standardized test. So I like that because it's unbiased. But some of the master plan communities, they are gorgeous, gorgeous communities, but they might be rated to a C high school or a C elementary school. So it's very important to know. And some people are retired. It doesn't matter. I do think for resale, you want to be in that AB range, but a lot of those are turning over, and over time they will get better as the city moves out. So that's number 2 is, are the schools important to you? The next question is going to be, what type of terrain are you looking for? So if you're looking in, say, Katy, those are old cornfields. There's not a lot of trees. It's pretty open. But if you're in, say, Montgomery, you have gorgeous trees with hills and not mountains, just hills. But, it's a very different feel. So if you love the tall trees and you're used to all that greenery, you may want to go towards Tomball, Magnolia, Montgomery, Conroe, Willis, out that way. If you don't like the trees and, they still have trees, but they've been planted and actually they've grown over time, but they're not going to be the heavily wooded areas. So obviously the Woodlands has a ton of trees. So what is important to you? Do you like those trees? Do you want that feeling, or do you like kind of open spaces? That's another really big way to narrow down your search. Number 4 is going to be your commute. Are you driving into the city of Houston? So where I'm at out in Montgomery, I went to my dad's office yesterday. He turned 86. He's still working, but we had celebration and cake and all sorts of stuff. And I had a buyer down there buying a townhouse kind of down in the Heights area. It took me an hour to get there, and that wasn't in rush hour. That was just middle of the day. I wouldn't want to do that every single day. So if you're commuting into the city, then we need to know that, because some people might be commuting to the med center and we need to get them down to like Pearland, Friendswood area. Some people are commuting to U of H area, same thing. Some people are working at a neighborhood hospital in the Woodlands, so that's fine. You could be within 20 minutes of there. Some people go to the airport. A lot of my clients go to the airport. So if it's the airport, I'm 45 minutes in Montgomery, but if we put you, right around 99 and 45, kind of Woodlands area, Bender's Landing is a great area over there. We put you over there 25 minutes. So if you're doing that every day or every week, that's a big deal. So those are all things to think about. That was number 4, is how close is your commute, or do you need to be close to the airport? Number 5, do you like master plan communities? So generally speaking, your taxes are going to be higher, although our tax rates just went down. I put a house under contract in Wood Forest this week, 2.2. That's pretty awesome. But most of them are over 3%. Audubon, Woodland Hills right now, Bridgeland, while I'm filming this in 2024, they're all over 3%, but you get a lot of amenities. So you have neighborhood pools, you have neighborhood parks, you have walking trails that you can walk on in the shade all summer. You have dog parks. A true master plan community has shopping and everything right there in the community. Most have the elementary school in the community. Audubon is going to have that. Or do you want an older, more established community? Like the Woodlands, it's all 1.9 to 2.1 tax rate. Where I'm at, it's 1.5 tax rate. But I don't have those amenities. I have lakes that I can fish, but I don't have walking trails. I just walk on the street. I don't have neighborhood park. Well, we have 2 neighborhood parks, but I don't have a neighborhood pool or anything like that to enjoy. So do you like master plan communities or not? So with that, what age of home? Do you want something newer, 2020 or newer? Do you like an older home, that needs remodeling or has just been remodeled, but maybe has more charm? A lot of the Woodlands have single pane windows. Is that an issue for you? They're not as energy efficient. There's all sorts of things that we can ask to narrow this down. The next question I'm going to ask you is, do you have a builder that you love? So a lot of my clients come here and they walk into a Weston home or a Perry home or any of them, and they Highland, and they love the style of that home. And they know, I want a Weston home. I want a David Weekley. I want the Perry with the 2-year warranty. Whatever it is, they tend to like that style of home. So if you're dead set on one style, Toll Brothers is a very nice home. Drees is a little bit more upscale, more custom. Do you have a builder that you love, that you love their models, or are you open to that? So that'll help narrow down to, if you really only want one builder, then we need to focus on where those builders are located. Next question is going to be time frame. So let's say it's March right now, 2024. Let's say you need to be here by this summer. So if you need to be here by this summer and you want new construction, we need to find something already being built. We need to find inventory. If you don't need to be here till next fall and you want to pick out everything and you want to go to the design center together and just pick out everything from top to bottom, then we have more time. So your time frame is important. Even if you're a year out, let's talk. Let's get started on the conversation. And then as the time gets closer, we can kind of hunker down and get more serious. But your time frame matters. I will say that the inventory homes are going to be a lot more affordable, on average $30,000 to $40,000 cheaper than a dirt build, because when the builders finish the home, they don't want it sitting. They want to let it go, so they'll lower the price. So I'm waiting on one house right now to lower for my clients that they love. It's probably worth about $530, and the lowest I can get it is $550, which is still $25 down from the current listing price. Yes, all of that is negotiable, but you don't want to overpay unless you're going to be there a long time. If you overpay and then in 2 years you go to sell, you're not going to be able to sell it. So you really need to have your agent run the comps, figure out what's reasonable, and then go in at that price. Okay, my next question is the search working? So we say, okay, we want a 1-story, we want this location. we set that up. If I send you 100 homes and you like 0 of them, then we need to readjust our search. Or we set up a search and you say, oh, I want, an acre at 300,000 with a brand new house, which is almost impossible. If we only have 1 house or no houses showing up, we have to balance that out somewhere. We're going to have to, up the budget, or maybe go down to 1/4 of an acre, or just adjust things to make that work. So let's do your search, get it set up. If you love it, tell me it's perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to just kind of keep watching it. Or, you know what, Natasha, I don't like this area. Please remove it. Easy, we'll do it. Okay. So get your search set up and see if it's realistic with your budget and what you're liking to get. Do you want to be near water? So some people love being near the coast of Galveston. They want to be able to go there, or they want to be 30 minutes from there. That's going to be Friendswood. That's going to be Pearland, those kind of areas. Downtown Houston. Heights is a lot closer. Maybe you're a lake person. You love to bass fish like we do. You're going to want to be out towards Lake Conroe, or even Lake Livingston, which is a much bigger lake that's not as crowded. Where do you want to be near water, or does that even matter to you? If that's one of your hobbies and things you like to do, you don't probably want to be 2 hours from it every time you want to go do it. So think about that. Do you want to be near the ocean or near a lake or anything like that? Maybe it's near the Sam Houston National Forest, so you can go hiking every weekend and take your bike out. Whatever it is, think about those spots and where you're going to see yourself living. Our next question is going to be, do you want an urban setting or do you want a rural setting? So, urban, do you like to be able to go 5 minutes and get a 5-star dining, or be able to pop into Nordstrom's and grab what you need? Or do you like more of a rural setting where they're going to have farmers market and they're going to have unique restaurants, and you're not going to have all your big box stores? You're going to drive 25, 30 minutes to those. So that's a very, very important thing. I do feel like where I'm at, I'm 25 minutes from the Woodlands, but I'm probably 10 minutes from the heart of Montgomery. I have a little bit of both and land, but it kind of just depends on what is important to you. So, if you, like I said, love kind of the hubbub and the, being able to, all the conveniences of that, you're going to want to be right by the heart of the city, whether that's the Woodlands or in the city, or, Cypress or whatever. I will say the Woodlands has more restaurants and fine dining and shopping than any of the other suburbs. When you go to Katy, it's things like Katy Mills Mall, which is like an outlet mall, and like Bass Pro Shops. So a little bit different. But if that, setting is important to you, or maybe you want to come home and be on land and you don't want to hear your neighbors. So we need to know what kind of setting maybe you want chickens. A lot of my clients want to have their own chickens and their own eggs. Just depends on what setting you're looking for. That'll help us narrow our search. So those are some of the questions that I go through with my clients, and we can narrow it down really, really quickly. Say, hey, I want to be in a master plan community and I want to have the trees. Okay, well, that's going to be, Wood Forest, Audubon, Woodland Hills, Grand Central. Maybe Harper's Preserve. It's pretty easy to narrow things down once we go through that. And if you find somebody that you know and you trust, I always tell people, go with somebody you trust that's going to help you, not force you into something. I always tell my clients, you're not buying a handbag. I had one client, we had to show her 30 houses, and she finally found the one, and she just told me she's going to cry when we close next week. And that's what makes me happy. She also got a house $30,000 less than it appraised for. So she has 30 grand in equity right now. That's the way to do it. So anyway, I'm glad you tuned in. Please hit the subscribe, comment below, tell me where you're from. Reach out anytime. You can call me, text me, days, nights, weekends. I'm always here to help, and I would love to hear from you. I hope you have a blessed day.